ladies and gentlemen, here is a look at the Douglas County Dirt Track in Roseburg, Oregon. That's right, we're close to home. We're just a little over an hour north of my doorstep and my race shop where I've lived my entire life. And for me, that makes me so excited to get in today's race day. And I think it's because for myself, like, we travel so much to race all over the United States, and we don't get a lot of like home games right during our season. So whenever there's an opportunity, for me, it just brings the energy, and I want to perform because we have so many friends, family, fans that have kind of been invested in our racing journey. They will literally be packing the stands tonight. So this is the 2025 Rick Brown Memorial. It's the biggest 360 sprint car race that the Douglas County Dirt Track has each season. We actually took it home in 2024, so our goal is to repeat this evening. And just briefly to talk about this racetrack, I honestly feel like it's one of the best on the West Coast. When they get it right, it just has the opportunity to be so slick and so wide, so you have plenty of room to race around your competitors, but pound the top side, or you can totally roll the bottom super slow, still have the chance to win. You just got a ton of options, and that allows you to fine tune your race car and have a little bit more variety with what you do to make your car go fast. So we're really looking forward to taking on this evening. I think we're expecting about 20 360 sprint cars, so a full field, again, a ton of fans, and we're looking forward to getting the 18T back on track. Of course, the team, they rebuilt all week after what happened in Tulare, so we definitely want to bounce back from that, make some solid laps, and just fine tune our program as we get into the portion of the season where we're running our family car. Is underway here in Roseburg, Oregon. We ended up, I think, with 18 360 sprint cars, timed the 18T 6th quick overall. Not a massive field, but you wouldn't believe how the sun right now is just beating down on the racetrack. So even going out kind of towards the end, it definitely slicked off maybe a tenth, 2/10, almost 3/10 of a second, where it's just difficult to lay down the same time. We were already also running up by the fence. The track is gut slick bottom to top. Looks like an A main event surface, and we were beating off the cushion in 3 and 4. Just walking up here to where the fans watch, you can see, look at how slick it is all through the middle. It'll be interesting what they do throughout the night, because they're gonna have to work it at some point. I'd like it, honestly, if they went and worked it now, just because the sun's still out. That's such a crucial factor in dirt racing. You know, basically from the center of 1 and 2 all the way to the center and exit of this corner, it is just melting. So we'll see what they do. I think we're gonna be on the pole of our heat race. We have to win to advance into the dash. I think the top 3 fastest qualifiers just got to finish in the top 4, and with us starting on the pole, similar to high limit format, we need to win to transfer to start in the first 3 rows of tonight's Rick Brown Memorial.
Because they might sell out as we are back to green. Tanner Holmes this time looking good up near the fence in turns 1 and 2. He's going to come out on top down the back straightaway. It's Colton Heath sitting in P2. So Heath and Holmes looking to lock into the redraw. Meanwhile, Levi Kuntz making his way up right up alongside of Bailey Hibbard. Not able to get it done that time. The 29K will try again, I assume. As the top 3 have stretched out a little bit. Just behind Levi Kuntz is Ryan Hirschbach, followed by Donnie Waddell. The white flag goes to Tanner Holmes, as he's got 1 more lap to get the heat race win and lock into the redraw. And picking up the heat race win in the Rick Brown Memorial, Tanner Holmes, followed by Colton Heath, Bailey Hibbard,
Well, a good solid heat race there for us. We started on the pole, led every single lap, just did our job to now get ourselves in the redraw. As you could tell from fast forward and then now walking out on the track, just super slick. No grip on the bottom, just a little bit to lean on the top, but it was already getting pretty thin against the wall. And you could see that in our tire wear. I mean, not that we had great tires on going out for the heat race, but they were burned off just in 10 laps there, and I felt like I was even saving my stuff. So now we're rolling into the redraw, top 6, first 3 rows of the A main event. Everyone had already drawn pretty high before I went, so I felt I had pretty good chances to start on the pole.
66. So all the rest of these guys on the flag stand are they're okay with that.
Well, my drawing skills, whether it's a redraw, whether it's a spin the wheel, or, you know, they kind of try to do what High Limit did here, and they had everyone pick a number basically, or draw a number, and then whoever had the lowest was on the pole. I think the lowest number, there was like 60 or 70 in there. The lowest number was like 30. I drew a 66. Probably need to fire myself from doing that, but we're gonna roll off from the 3rd row outside starting position. They just did a pretty good rework, bottom and top. Happy to see it. I think the surface, you know, might be a little fast for a minute. It's really hard to judge if it's gonna blow off or if it's gonna hold. You know, the temperatures have cooled way off, the sun's obviously gone, but I'm for it. Might be a little fast for a minute, but hopefully it kind of changes and the bottom comes in, the top's good, and you can kind of throw slide jobs and just use all the lanes. That we're gonna need it, you know, coming from row 3 with some fast cars up there. But we made quite a few adjustments to the 18T. I don't think we've been dialed all night. I think we've been close, but we tried to go in the direction that, you know, has helped us here in the past, and our car was balanced and had success and won the Rick Brown Memorial, so we're very close to that, and we're gonna roll out and give it all we got for 33 laps and $3,300 to win. Well, guys, we wrecked out battling for fourth or fifth here at the Rick Brown. Was off to a pretty slow start there in that feature. I don't know, I just didn't feel like I had what I needed. I don't think we were bad. It just kind of took a minute to kind of get going, and I just got in bad spots early in the race. Like I thought I had some of the right ideas, but I just had cars that kind of ended up in front of me, breaking my momentum, allowed a couple guys by, and then had to fight back, and just thought I was getting rolling about halfway through, and some car that we were lapping just plugged the opening, you know. That's the only fortunate part about some of these races. There's just guys at a lot of different paces, and I don't know if something broke, or I don't know if he drove into the wall. Like I mean, all I saw is he was going and literally didn't just like miss the corner by a mile, and then literally shot out into me, and I actually was gonna miss him. I just braced for impact, you know, and spun out and hit the wall and tipped over it, just you know, trying to avoid. So super frustrated, man. We just tore up more equipment, and just been a tough start to our year. So obviously we wanted to win tonight, and I don't know if we had what we needed, but it's just kind of tough to say, you know what I mean? So we'll keep working on it. We're never ever going to give up, and just a frustrating end to our night. We were just trying to get a good run in and see if we maybe had some for those guys once we finally kind of got clear about halfway through the race, and ended with you know, some guy just plugging the fence. So the 18T is all loaded up. Props to my crew for working the extra hours. Honestly, these last, you know, our first two races of our car for the season, not exactly how you'd want to start things, and that's kind of how I want to end today's show. In this situation, there's two things that we could do. We can sit here and we can whine and complain and be upset, and of course I think we all probably had that moment, right? You know, between both these incidents, you know, you never feel good about what happened. Especially for our team. I mean, I don't want to call us a little team, but I mean, in a lot of ways we are. You know, in the scale of things of, you know, trying to be a national sprint car operation, you know, so yeah, for us, like, yeah, this of course hurts our equipment. You know, a big dent very early in the season, but all we can do is, you know, bounce back from it and get up and keep fighting. You know, you don't want to stay down. You know, like I said, and it's easy to do that, you know, to change your mindset and to be negative and frustrated, I guess. What would you say, mad at the world? I don't know, but that's just not what we do. So anyway, we're already looking at tomorrow, and we're heading to Cottage Grove because we do have 3 nights this weekend. Our weekend's not over yet, and had some time to process what happened, and I think some of it is probably just accepting the wreck as a race car driver, right? For me, I'm so quick to like, what could have we done different, and what did we do wrong, and I do probably overanalyze situations instead of going like this. Look, you pull a tear off, you throw it out the window, and you move forward, and sometimes that's just racing, and you have to accept that, and it's hard because I'm so quick to like, man, like you know, I always blame like what happened, and sometimes like, hey, like, let's say that wreck doesn't occur, maybe those last 15 laps we drive and literally win the race, because I think we were capable of, or we were gaining the speed to, but that just, you know, never had the shot of happening. So again, big thank you to my team, family, all of our great partners. You know, not how we want, not how, of course, again, how we want things to go, but I feel like what defines you is how you continue to move forward on this journey, and again, like, just a lesson, dirt racing is really hard, and it's easy to be discouraged, and for us, we're gonna choose the path of chasing victories and continuing to bounce back. So thank you guys so much for watching. We got a lot of work to do tomorrow. Engine swap, keep going over things with the race car. It looked like, you know, quite a bit of damage, mainly with the rear end, front axle, couple wheels, wings. We're gonna need more wings coming, and you know, main thing that's important for us is just how we can prepare for the rest of our season. So, you know, what have we knocked out these first couple races? What do we need to restock, and go through that process, and at the end of this weekend start working towards that. But until then, you know, what does it take to get through these next 2 nights and try to put the 18T on the front stretch where it belongs. So just really appreciate you all, the community. It's so great to have you guys behind us. I'm very, you know, still in moments like this, I'm very blessed what I get to do, and it's great to have those reminders, even just speaking to you guys after the races, you know, still having people want to sign autographs, and you know, that could be their one chance they came to watch us race, and we still want to give them that great experience, whether our night, you know, whether we were heroes or whether we were zero. So we appreciate it, and we're gonna keep kicking. So we'll see you guys all in the next video, and the goal is to turn things around, get the 18T where it belongs, in victory lane. Deuces.